Hi, this is Samantha Catchy, Family Assistance and Program Manager at Hope for 3. In today's TeleH.O.P.E, we're going to do some fun activities with Post-its. Joining us today is Stacy Badon, owner of Everything Autism. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good. So I'm really excited to see what you're going to do with Post-its. So show us.
All right, so I will start with and I will apologize because I think that the mirror effect doesn't really work very well, but you'll get the concept. So one of the things that I talk to parents about is implementing a visual schedule. And a lot of parents right now are home, they don't have access to a printer, they can't laminate, all these things are not available, but that does not prevent you from making a visual schedule using Post-its. So a really quick, simple thing is you can write, I don't know if you can see it, you can actually write a visual schedule, and then you can just take your Post-its and you can make and put it on to do, and when they're finished, they move it to done. So therefore, there is no excuse for anyone to not have a visual schedule implemented.
Oh my God, Stacy, that's brilliant.
Using Post-its. You just have to make it and you're done. And even if you have the ability to print, you can make it pretty, but you can use the Post-its because you don't have the Velcro and the laminated icons.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because we always get Post-its and then we never know, at least me, I buy a bunch of Post-its and then it's just wasted or it's sitting there. But I can use it now.
Exactly. Now everyone can use their Post-its, and we all have those free Post-its we get when we go to those community resource events. So now we can use those Post-its. All right, another way that you can use Post-its is a lot of times we are trying to get our kiddos to either, learn alphabet, numbers, letters, sight words. It can be used for anything. And so what you do is you just take your Post-its and let's just say you're working on letters, right? You put your letter A on there. Ahead of time, you take the Post-its and you tag them around the house on the wall, maybe under the chair where they can still kind of see them, but then you can ask them and say, oh, can you go find the letter A? Can you go find B? And what you're doing is, one, you are either teaching, reinforcing letter recognition, but you are also providing them with sensory input, because what are they doing? Moving their bodies from one place to another. So you are structuring that sensory input, but also tying in. It can be sight words. It can be, I've even done it where I have put like math facts, like some of the kids have to practice their math facts. So if you have to practice, 2 times 3, you put those around and you make it an activity. And the great thing is the parents don't have to really, you can just sit from your chair and say, go find which, and you can switch it up. So for example, if you're doing math facts and you have the Post-its hidden, or even if you have them on the wall in a line, can say, can you bring me the one that is the product of 6, right? And then they have to find the one which is 6. Or if you're doing addition, which double digit is 8, right? And they have to pull the 4 plus 4. The idea is that you are helping your child with those academic skills, but you are also giving them some movement, and you don't have to do a lot of prep. And I always say, it doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be available. The other thing that you can do with Post-its is, and I'm going to see if I can model this, teaching patterns. So you take your different Post-its, and let's just say that you have, let's just forget that there's an A here, and let me do it right. So, my Post-it's not sticking, sorry. All right, so you can literally take different Post-its and you can make patterns. So what do we have? We have small, big, small, big. So you can teach patterns with your children. You can give them Post-its and tell them to make a pattern on the refrigerator. And what I love about the concept of using the Post-its to give our children a task is, a lot of parents are trying to multitask because the kids are home. If you have to cook or do laundry, bring the Post-its in the laundry room with your little one, or even if they're, you know, a little bit older, but they need to be supervised, and just give them a task. You can tell them to take Post-its. Can you make a square with Post-its? And they can just make a square on the wall using the Post-its. And so you're giving them something to do. It's keeping them structured, but you're also working on fine motor if they have to make a pattern or a shape, and they're in the laundry room with you. They can do it on the side of the dryer. It doesn't matter where they do it. The concept is thinking of Post-its as something portable, right, that you have, something you can write on to make a visual support, and something you can use in terms of, like, I don't know, like flashcards. I'm not a real big flashcard person, but the concept is practice. I won't say I'm against flashcards. I don't like sitting at a table drilling, right? Because it's not conducive, especially for our kiddos who need lots of sensory movement. It's just really great. The other thing you can do is, from a communication language standpoint, you can work on concepts. So if you have different Post-its, you can put them under the table, you can put them next to the door, and you can build that vocabulary by just putting, you can do it two ways. You can either say, can you go find the one next to the door, if you're building vocabulary. If your child is, maybe has the concepts, then you can give them the Post-it and tell them, can you go put this next to the door? Go put this one under the big chair, right? And then they're working on following directions. They're fine motor to take the Post-it off. They know, you know, they're putting it under or over. So you can do communication, language, following directions, practice academics, make a visual schedule, which is really, really important. We need to have routines. And so I want everyone to take away from this, what can I do with those Post-its in the drawer? How can I do something that's going to help my kiddo? And also, if you have older kids, or even if your child's capable, let them draw. I have kids that I've said, use the Post-its and make a visual schedule. You can draw pictures of what you need on your schedule. Like, our children can do that. Like, just give them the tools and they can make their own visual schedule. They just need Post-its and something to write with.
And I love that these activities it also includes your siblings. So it's not just for that one kid. The whole family can get involved with this activity with the Post-its.
Exactly. I often assign my families, the older sibling may be the person in charge of making the Post-its for the child to find, or let the older sibling do the activity where they find them, you know, under, over, or looking for the A, looking for the one. Just the, another one really quick is, if your child is at the level where they are still learning, you can have the Post-its where you can tear them in half. And let's say that it's the letter B and the lowercase b. If you tear it in half, then you can stick one of them and you can say, oh, can you go find the lowercase b and match it to and then they have to put them together on the paper or wherever. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be pretty. The idea is that you can take this Post-it and do so many things with it, and it just makes a difference. And so you have a B and you tell them, go find the matching B, and you've already tucked it somewhere. The hiding part is not about them looking for it. It's about, they can see it. They just have to go and get it. They're moving their body, and then they bring it back, and then they can put it together like a puzzle if you want.
And it's like a one-step direction, right? It's like the basic. And then you can build on the one step to the two step to the three step.
Yes. But you're also so what you're doing is you are using visuals, you are structuring the activity, you are building academics, you are building language, you're reinforcing skills, you are introducing vocabulary, all in just using Post-its and coming up with ways.
Just using Post-its, like, like, this is amazing, because I can't, like, you've just given us over 7 different activities hitting different targets.
Post-its.
With Post-its. Awesome. Thank you so much, Stacy. And thank you so much for joining us on TeleH.O.P.E today. Of course. If you would like to access more fun activities, check out hope3.org/resources. Until then, bye.
Bye.